everyone, Bonnie here from Bonnie Carolee Makes Cards, and welcome back to Crafty Meraki's channel. I have a sweet springtime card for you featuring the Meraki Artisan Flora Dies wreath and the Meraki Moments Just a Note shimmer plates, all on an easy color blocked background using Luminous Leaves from the Effortless Shimmer Paper collection. These papers are fabulous with their beautiful designs. They can be used as is, or you can take them to the next level like I'm going to do and foil them. But first I'm going to create a fun and easy color blocked background. I'm using low tack tape and just marking things off in sections. I'm applying Distress Oxide inks. I'm alternating between Picked Raspberry, Hickory Smoke, and Evergreen Bough. It's all fairly random with the exception of the fact that it's geometric, done in a series of rectangles. I kind of like working like this once in a while, just flying by the seat of my pants and hoping the pieces all fall into place. When doing this fun technique, it is important to use long pieces of tape. I'm not patient when it comes to waiting for ink to dry, and the tape will not stay adhered to any ink that is still wet. I make sure that the tape ends extend well beyond the panel. This will make sure that you still end up with crisp lines because the tape is not going to lift. And that's about as technical as it gets. Pick your favorite pattern, pick your favorite colors, and just have fun. Isn't probably necessary, but I didn't want to leave anything to chance, so I've taken a microfiber cloth and I'm just buffing the panel to remove some of that ink that is sitting on top of the leaves. Using gold foil by Deco Art, and I'm just popping it in the carrier sheet that comes with the mini Mink machine. Just pop it into the slot, it'll grab it and slowly feed it through. And when it comes out, I'm going to take it out of the carrier sheet and pop it on the platform for my die cutting machine and put the plate on top and quickly, while it's still warm, feed it through the die cutter. This additional pressure while the panel is still warm will ensure that the foiling is consistent across the panel. I'm going to further emphasize that color block pattern by adding in some pretty gold glitter washi tape. This is quite narrow and I love that it adds another texture of gold to the card front. At this point, it may seem like a lot is going on, but once the card is pulled together, the background will act as a frame for that large sentiment and beautiful flowers. And whenever I'm trimming off anything that is overhanging on the panel, I like to flip it over, push the blade of my scissors right up against the edge, and trim for a nice flush cut. And now to prepare the Meraki Moments Just a Note sentiment. This is a hot foil plate and die set. I'm a big fan of dimension on my cards, and I've used the die to cut both black sheet foam and gold cardstock. The excess has not been removed from the foam die cut words. Sitting in the background, the words will be slightly depressed. This makes it very easy to align the gold cardstock words to it. Before the excess foam is removed, it needs to dry completely, and that gives me time to do some flower shaping. Several flowers have been cut using the Artisan Wreath die set. I'm going to be shaping them using a molding mat, a ball tool, and a leaf tool. I'll start off with the leaf tool, just pulling it from the top of the petal towards the center of the flower. If the flower is not cupped enough, then I'll use the ball tool to depress it in the center. There's lots of texture going on in this card, and I'm adding in yet another one with some beautiful gold prills in the center of each of the flowers. These are super tiny, like seed beads. I'm working in a coffee filter to contain them. And after I've tapped off the excess, then I'll set them aside to dry completely. Using a coffee filter is a great aid to get them back into the container. I've selected a mint green cardstock that is a pretty good match for the green that is in the background. The words have been hot foiled in gold. The foiled sentiments are being adhered to the foam-backed gold foil die cuts. As they are adhered, they are being offset, leaving a pretty gold outline at the top of each word. Before I adhere the sentiment, I'm first going to put the branch in place. The liquid adhesive is applied down the main stem. My panel, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, is now being adhered to an A2 size card base. When I put the branch in place, I take it right out to the edge of the card base. The sentiment is laid out on the card, and then I can go ahead and adhere it. Color blocking with the washi tape grid lines makes it very easy to get the sentiment on nice and straight. As the flowers are being arranged on the branch, I'll also be popping up the leaves. I'm using small foam squares. They're a little bit big, so I cut them in half. To prevent them from sticking to the blades of the scissors, it is best to do this while they are still on the backing sheet. And now that the leaves are popped up, I can go ahead and finish arranging the flowers and adhere them to the branch. Whenever I adhere paper-shaped flowers, I always am quite generous with the adhesive. I depress a fairly good dollop of glue, not enough that it's going to ooze out from the flower's edge though. And the panel is going to be balanced out by adding in another smaller arrangement on the opposite diagonal corner just below the sentiment. I have a second branch that has been die cut from the Artisan Wreath die set, and this time I'm going to be cutting it apart. I'll start off by adhering a little bed of leaves. They'll be adhered just in the center. One of the leaves will be popped up with the half foam square. I have 2 different sizes of flowers. The 3 small ones are on the larger branch, and I've reserved the largest flower for this arrangement. And as if there isn't enough sparkle and shine, I have to add in some confetti. This is a pretty sequin mix of rose and gold. Some are adhered to the leaves and others to the background. And of course, I wouldn't want to be doing this without my bling buddy. This tool just makes it so easy to get these small elements in place exactly where you want them. And as I'm apt to do, I finished off all of the confetti with Nouveau Crystal Drops Morning Dew. When this medium dries, it is clear, and I just love the result that it gives, a nice smooth crystal. And just when I thought I was done, I wasn't. I decided that I wanted to create some shadows under some of the leaves. Another branch was die cut from dark gray cardstock and cut apart. The adhesive was added to the base of these shadow leaves, and then they were slipped underneath the other ones. Leaves that were adhered with foam squares were easily peeled up. After I added in a few more shadow leaves to the top branch, I now think I'm done. And that completes this springtime card featuring the beautiful Artisan Flora die set wreath and the Meraki moments just a note. And all on a foiled background using a design paper from Luminous Leaves. Thank you for watching, and as always, we appreciate your visit.